This is probably the most excited I've been for a combo video since like the Instant Fusion Diva stuff. With the Eternity code around the corner and being widely distributed across Europe as of now, we've gained access to a whole plethora of new main deck cards that can act as consistency boosters, defensive cards, or even combo cards. I know a lot of you are already trying to think about changing up your builds, like how many minstrels, how many arias you're going to play. Well, this video isn't going to tell you exactly what I recommend, but rather tell you what you can do with the new Deep Sea Minstrel. So this card actually has two main applications. Her main use is to stop Nibiru or other hand traps without so much as putting a monster on the board. Because her effect, just like Teus, is you discard a water monster, both this and that as cost, to look at your opponent's hand and banish a card face up until the end phase. Take their Nibiru, take their infinite impermanence, which cannot be stopped or called by the grave, take Ash, take effect that goes to her. This basically is a 6th copy of Call by the Grave. The best part is that it's also a combo card. So in this combo, it's actually a new normal summon or a new starter combo, just to kind of explain why Bizpike is such a good monster to play in your main deck. I have no clue as to why this card is only $4 and the Gun is like $14 on TCG Player, because this card is just so much better right now. So this combo can theoretically play around 2 hand traps, Nibiru plus another hand trap. But the main use is to play around Nibiru. And to do that, I'm going to show you 4 different combos that you can end on while all playing around Nibiru. For the first one, a lot of it starts with normal summoning Pike and discarding Dragoons for cost. Pike is going to go ahead and search for a level 3. We are going to search Minstrel, who is a level 3 water tuner. On a new chain link, Dragoons is going to search for a Sea Serpent. In this case, we search for Neptibus the Atlantean Prince. We are going to use Minstrel's effect to discard her and their Neptibus as cost to look at our opponent's hand and take 1 card from it until the end phase. On a new chain link, Neptibus' effect, because it was discarded or sent to the graveyard for a water monster's effect as cost, to target 1 Atlantean monster and special summon it from our graveyard. From here, we have 2 level 4s on the field. We can overlay for Bahamut Shark and detach the Dragoons to special summon the Totally Awesome. Now, because Dragoons was sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, we were able to search for a Sea Serpent. For this combo, which I think is the strongest, we searched for Lapis. Lapis, when added, will special summon himself from the hand. He is your 5th summon, essentially, and you already have Totally Awesome on the field to stop a hand trap as well as to stop Nibiru. Lapis is a tuner, so of course we are going to go ahead and link summon into Crystron Halqifibrax. We don't actually search or summon Melanglacia in this combo, which is fine in case you're going into a build like Adamantipator's, where hand looping isn't quite as efficient as many Negates. We're going to keep him over here because if I place him over here, the glare is going to give everyone a nasty headache. So sorry about that. On summon, Halqifibrax will summon one of 2 things. You could either summon Jet Synchron, or you could summon Deskbot 001. Essentially, they both have the same effect. However, Jet Synchron makes you send a card from your hand to the graveyard. If you have no problem doing that, then you can play Jet Synchron because he also has other added benefits as being a more versatile, reoccurring tuner. From here, we will link off both Halqifibrax and your Jet Synchron to summon Mecha Phantom Beast or Roar. On summon, he will special summon 3 tokens, and you are unable to link summon for the rest of this turn. From here, if you have that extra card in your hand, you could special summon the Jet Synchron. If you play Deskbot 001, his own effect will activate special summoning himself for free. So in this case, we're just going to use Jet Synchron. We will use Auroradon's effect, tributing himself and a token to special summon the level 2 Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lion from our deck. This is the only break you play in this combo, but it's also pretty standard in any Halqifibrax Turbo combo. We will Synchro Summon using the O-Lion and both of our level 3 tokens So Synchro Summon Borreload Savage Dragon, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. We will special summon a token off of our Mega Phantom Beast, and we will equip the Auroradon to our Savage Dragon, giving him 3 potential negates and 4,050 attack points. From here, we will finish our last summon, banishing the Jet Synchron or sending to the grave the 001 to Synchro Summon Herald of the Arclight as our last combo. So this is the standard Halqifibrax Turbo combo. If you've been paying attention to some online tournaments, just recently, I think MBT played a Deskbot / righty lefty driver build, and the main focus of the deck was ending on this combo, because any combo that makes Halqifibrax can make this combo. It's like a standard Dragoon or standard Orcust engine. So from just Pike plus Dragoons, you were able to end on 3 negates, totally awesome, which can bring back Neptibus from your graveyard to your hand. Neptibus has not been used this turn, so if you have any extra extenders in your hand, you can make a Coral Anemone before the Auroradon and revive the Prince. There's also a whole bunch of other routes with this combo that all play around Nibiru. For this route, we will include an additional water discard in our hand. This is only a discard for summoning Abyss Megalo, so it really doesn't matter what card this is. So for this route, we are going to normal summon the Pike. I think we're going to summon the Pike for almost all these combos, because it all revolves around the same thing. Discarding Dragoons to search for Deep Sea Minstrel. She is a common, so she's pretty fairly easy to pull. I was hoping for some foil version because she's literally the best card, in my opinion, of all the new Deep Sea cards. Dragoons will go ahead and search for Neptibus. Neptibus hasn't had a reprint yet, so low-key hoping he gets a rarity bump in the new OTS pack. From here, Minstrel will discard herself plus Neptibus to rip a card from the opponent's hand. I don't think we need a marker for that because it comes back during the end phase, but just for the sake of keeping total. Neptibus will revive the Dragoons. As before, link summon to Bahamut, detach the Dragoons to summon the Toad. Dragoon's effect will search for Lapis Dragon. So we're going to link summon Coral Anemone and not Needle Fiber. From here, we're going to, like I said, link off these 2 monsters to summon Marincess Coral Anemone. Coral Anemone can revive the Neptibus in our graveyard. Going second, you contribute the Neptibus for your Megalo to be able to attack twice and OTK the opponent, should you wish to. Neptibus' effect will send Dragoons for cost to add Dragoons and Megalo from our deck to our hand. From here, Megalo will discard the Dragoons and our extra water discard from our hand. Chainlink 1 Dragoons, Chainlink 2 Megalo. Megalo will search for Mizuchi. And Dragoons will search for Heavy Infantry. Not a whole bunch to it since we are locked into water monsters. We would just link off the Neptibus and the Megalo to summon good old faithful Abyssalacia. Equip the Biscuit of Mizuchi to her, and keep the infantry in hand to act as a 3rd interruption. This is a more pure version of the combo, and it works best if you have more waters in your hand to extend and go into Needle Fiber a different way. This next combo is probably my more preferred combo, also my favorite one, just because it ends on 4 negates as well as some recursion through Totally Awesome. So for this one, it runs no bricks. If you open things in your hand, you can just summon it off of Halqifibrax from your hand, so that's pretty cool. Pike will discard the Dragoons to search for Deep Sea Minstrel. On a new chain, Dragoons will add the Neptibus from our deck to our hand. Minstrel will rip a card by discarding a water, this being Neptibus. Neptibus will go ahead and revive the Dragoons. Overlay for our favorite Bahamut Shark, and detach the Dragoons to summon the Totally Awesome. I'm so happy Bahamut Shark didn't get hit and total went to 1, because we only really need 1 Toad to win the game. The Dragoons, because it was detached, will go ahead and search Lapis Dragon. This card deserves a super rare printing in the new OTS. Lapis will freely special summon himself from the hand. He has 2,600 defense. He also summons Ultimaya Zilkin, so best of both worlds. Link off the Lapis and the Bahamut for Christian Halka Fabrics, a lot of these combos end with 6 waters engrave. So unless you have an Aqua Spirit, you're not going to be able to summon Molten Glacier with most of these combos, which is 100% fine if you're playing against like Eldritches or Emancipators or Orcust, because Gearsu is now a thing, etc., etc. Halka Fabrics will special summon a level 1 tuner from your deck to your hand. Fishborg Launcher is the best target. Make sure to summon your weak monsters in defense. From here, we will link off the level 1 Fishborg for a Link Karibo. And use the Fishborg's effect because we only control waters in our graveyard to special summon himself from defense. We will link all 4 off, or all 3 off, to summon the link for Appaloosa below the goddess and put 3 negates on her. So she's not the strongest Appaloosa, but this is a 4 negate combo off of just Pike plus Dragoons. Now Pike plus Dragoons is a good starter card or combo to have, but it's not the best. So if you don't have Taste in your opening hand, here's another card you can definitely use. Of course, the original Anti-NIBIRU combo does use Tejas plus Dragoons to search for Pike, so this gives you another reason to play just like 2 to 3 Pikes in your main deck. So even if you do get hand trap and you don't search the Minstrel, you have 4 other cards considering you search off of Dragoons like a Megalo or something, because if this card gets stopped for the search, you can still search Minstrel off of Dragoons, so it's not the end of the world. If you have an Octopus in your hand, you can just discard that instead. So your opponent has to be really careful with what cards they use to try and hand trap you. This 4th combo is the secret to beating Emancipators. Normal summon the Pike, discard the Dragoons. We will search for Deep Sea Minstrel. Dragoons will of course search for Neptibus. This is like the standard. The cool thing about this combo is that there's so many different routes you can play depending on your build and what deck you're playing against. Minstrel will discard the Neptibus to rip a card from the opponent's hand, and Prince will revive the Dragoons, which we will then overlay Bahamut, detach Dragoons for Toad. Dragoons will search for Lapis Dragon. Lapis will then special summon himself from the hand. With 4 different variations of this 2-card combo, it really opens your eyes just how versatile Mermail is and how strong it is against so many matchups in the meta. Like, it's insane for any one deck to have this much power. But this also comes with some negative, aspects or parts of it. By using so many non-water, non-archetypal generic cards, those cards are susceptible to being hit on a ban list because they're so generic and good. Like Needle Fiber or Halka Fabrics. Stuff like Appaloosa or Dagda. I mean, unlikely for these, but Overordon's really, really trashy for just being able to end on 2 negates. So Halka Fabrics on summon will special summon a level 1 tuner from our deck. Remember, defense position in case you get stopped. Because the worst thing that can happen is an infinite impermanence on this and then they drop Nibiru later. It's terrible. Let's link off Launcher for the Link Karibo and revive the Launcher. We will link both Link Karibo plus the Launcher off for Artifact Dagda. This is your secret for beating Emancipators. Emancipators run no main deck cards that can out your board. All of their stuff is in the extra deck. All their level 4 Exceed monsters, or rank 4 Exceed monsters, all their level 8 and 6 Synchros, their IP Masqueranas, their Appaloosas, their Unicorns and Phoenixes, that stuff's all in the extra deck. So being able to just go Dagda and just wait for them to do something, then use Dagda's effect to special summon my least favorite monster in my entire deck, because I happen to draw this when I'm playing Sanctum in a different deck. We set the Scythe from our deck. Then we tag out with Halka Fabrics to special summon. I am sorry for the proxy, but pretend this is TG Wonder Magician. Wonder Magician is a level 5 synchro that when it's summoned can destroy spell trap around the field. You destroy the Scythe. I'm gonna keep this face down because it's white. You destroy the Scythe. Scythe revives himself. Boom. You just beat Emancipators. Because Dark Ruin No More doesn't stop this. On summon, his effect activates and your opponent's locked out from the extra deck. During your following turn, draw your card. I mean, the worst they can do is summon Block Dragon and pass. You can even synchro for Zulkin, because these are both level 5 monsters. So I really hope this gets you guys interested in playing Mermails. I have so many resources on my channel. It would mean the world to me if you guys subscribe and leave a like and comment whatever's on your mind on my channels. I like reading your guys' comments. And we are steadfast on the road to 5K.